Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jesse here, and I'm representing Vanessa from the Murfreesboro music scene. We are joined here today in beautiful, sunny, hot, humid, Pleasant View, Tennessee, with the featured band of the week of Serpents. And we've got Blake and Travis here with us today. Thank you guys so much for joining us, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. So, first of all, we always like to know a bit of the history of the band, where you guys were formed, how it was formed, who formed it, all that fun stuff. So, give us a little bit of a background of Serpents.
So basically, we've all been playing in different bands around the Tennessee area for a number of years. I've actually been playing for over half my life. Same way with our other guitar player, Blake Bailey. He was in Soma, Animality. I've been in a few projects. Actually, Autumn Lies Buried started that band back in 2006.
You started Autumn Lies Buried?
I did, actually.
Really cool. Those are some good guys.
Yeah, it was actually a completely different lineup, but it was John Atkins from Soma played guitar, myself, Chad Tanner, who actually was in Bishop, about a year later with me, and then Aaron Bowen, who plays in Head Trauma, kind of rap rock type stuff.
Yeah.
He was the drummer, so yeah, it was good times, man. We were stylistically a little bit different, probably more like metalcore type stuff, but it was fun. We got rowdy,
Nice, nice. So this is pretty much of Serpents was kind of like your baby.
I don't want to. I mean, basically, what I kind of did is I had an idea in my head that I was tired of not really playing anymore, and I wanted to get back out in the scene and do something, really heavy and dark, and kind of sort of felt like I handpicked some people to be in it, but also tried to just be organic about it, let the cards fall. We all came together. I asked the guys, asked Alex. Alex, the three of us actually, Alex, Paul, and myself, played in a rock group. It was kind of hard rock called A Life Below Zero before we started of Serpents, and that project didn't really go anywhere. It's kind of one of those things where his chemistry wasn't there and stuff. But so I said, man, Alex is a good drummer. Let's get him on board. I wanted Bailey in the project, but at the time we had another guitar player. He ultimately ended up leaving, so Bailey just kind of filled his shoes after he left. So it worked out pretty good.
Nice. And you guys, I mean, it's death metal, pretty much straight up death metal, deathcore.
See, it's kind of the funny thing about us is the more I feel like, Agonist is that first record could probably, be put in with a number of different genres. I think, certain people hear things and they get something out of it. Other people might hear something totally different. A lot of people say it kind of airs on the black metal side of stuff. But I think for me, it's, then especially the newer material, I'd say we're just a metal band, like just Americana metal. I don't know. We take influence from everything, so
that's good. And that's actually one of my questions too, is major influences that you pull up for of Serpents. I mean, since you do have so much going on in terms of musical styles and stuff, like what are your bigger influences? Winger.
Warrant.
Striper.
Yeah.
Striper. Striper kicks ass.
Yeah, we modeled a whole band after Striper. No. I think for me, and it really just kind of anything I do kind of has these influences, but definitely like 18 Visions.
Oh wow, yeah.
Haven't
heard of those guys.
Despised Icon.
Nice.
I'm a huge Vomitory fan. I like those guys a lot. I'm a big fan of like kind of older death metal and stuff, Exhumed. Napalm Death. That's kind of where it's at for me. But I like a lot of melodic stuff too. So anything you can think of that there's some good quality singing, I probably dig it. So.
And you're the singer for Serpents.
Yes.
So do you have anybody particular that you look up to in terms of your vocal styles of it?
Definitely. James Hart, of course, from 18 Visions. And even though I sound nothing like him, just kind of, I'd say it's more of a stage presence kind of thing. Like, I like the fact that he's in everybody's face and he has no problem saying exactly, what he's expecting from the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I try to be kind of very loud front man, and I try to get people going and all that. So I mean, you see so many bands that are just kind of like, oh, hey guys, we're so and so. It's like
no energy.
It's not for me. I'm gonna get people as involved as I can. And it's sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's always good to try to keep that going. But shoot, beyond that, man, Barney Greenway from Napalm Death, and I've totally even been told that we kind of have some similarities in the way we do our vocals and stuff. So.
Nice.
It's definitely, I'd say it's my big two, man. love some Napalm Death.
Yeah, definitely. And that's got to be really, you know, a good pat on your guys' back to hear that, you know, some of your influences and things are coming through in your music, and that you sound, or that you have that sort of thing going on.
Right.
You know, that gives
It's
you
always, we've had some really cool comparisons. We've even been, you know, a couple of reviews got like compared us like a, you know, like Slayer, even, who am I thinking, Deicide. We've gotten that one quite a bit. And that's a cool one for me because I just never really picked up on that, you know, in our music. But I was, when I got to listening to what they were saying, I was like, I kind of see that. It makes sense, you know.
I always heard it was a joke. It's a drinking game. Is take a shot every time Glenn Benton says God.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be dead by the end of the first song.
That's cool.
That would be a fun drinking game. You guys are currently signed, right?
Yes.
You just got picked up by what was the name of the label?
Sleepless Beast Records.
Sleepless Beast Records. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Wanted to ask you a little bit about that, you know, because there's, you know, a lot of bands that nowadays, at least in the local underground circuit, they you know, they put out their records themselves independently, and they're cool with that, and that's something that's really kind of where they want to stay. And then there's other bands that even in their early inception really push for that label backing, you know, and representation. What is your take on that in terms of like your personal experience? How do you feel like there's the pros and cons of having a label?
Well, I definitely think the pros are a lot of times somebody else is willing to buy into your product, and that's been a huge thing for us because we all work normal jobs. You know, we're not millionaires or anything like that. So anybody that's willing to help out with the cause and just believes in the product that we're making, I think that if they're willing to take that extra step and say, you know what, I believe in this to the point where I'm going to put some money up to help you guys get CDs, help you guys go to record, help you do these things, that's huge. You know, that's a huge weight lifted off of us, you know, monetarily, because like, you know, if you're doing it yourself, man, it's tough, and it's tough to get a quality product out there. So, and especially to do the things like pushing it and staying in people's faces with it, and that's all things that, you know, unless you just live on social media, which, you know, we try to have a presence, but we're not always able to just sit behind a computer. You know, it's hard. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I think that the social media platform has become. You guys can weigh in on this too, but I feel like that's almost something that people rely too heavily on.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely helpful, but I don't think that should be something that is entirely your shtick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a product, you got to have a presence, you know, boots on the ground type stuff too. You can't just always rely on that.
I think it's a cultural thing. I think ultimately, like, people judge you based off how many likes you have or how strong, you know, it's like there's so many bands that are just, I think are awesome that, you know, they're not that in tune with social media. There's other bands I think are crap and they're out there, but they're all over the place.
Yeah, they're on everything, Twitter, Instagram, like they got every social media platform going.
Yeah, which is great, but
sure. I think, you know, and with as many bands as we talk to and deal with, you know, especially maybe some of the older generation that aren't some, like they came from the generation where there was no social media. It was how you got seen and heard because of the work that you put into it, boots on the ground type stuff.
Right.
So I think that there's a good balance that needs to be met in between. So, you know, definitely having that label backing, you know, it helps you get that sort of tangible exposure.
I think for me too, I kind of run that thing where it's like I just want to go and just load up a printer with a bunch of flyers and go hand them out to people simply for the fact of who does that anymore.
Sure.
You know, it's like, I've been sitting here like weighing it out like that. I know most of them are going to end up in the trash, but maybe that 20 to 25 people that are genuinely interested will take a look at it and go, man, I haven't held a flyer in 10 years. You know, let's go to this thing. So.
And I think we definitely admire that because, like you said, that was how you got seen and heard back in the day.
Right.
And I think that is very valuable in terms of the exposure that you guys get yourselves. You know, if you go to a show and you have some flyers for your upcoming show or something, you know, to give to people, say, hey, this is who we are. Definitely check us out, you know, dig us, whatever, come out to our show.
Absolutely.
So I definitely applaud you for that mentality. How often do you guys get together to jam?
Well, right now we're kind of in the process of doing a pre-production for our second record, but, you know, on a normal week, I'd say once or twice, you know, whatever our workload allows us.
At least
That's what we shoot for. We try to get in here and really not him haul around. You know, we try to get right to it and say, you know, run the set a couple times. Then a lot of times we're getting a writing, but we've kind of found a little technique that works for us. Alex, we'll set up at his house and we'll write over there. But then when we get here, this is more of a rehearsal space. We try to work on the live show. So.
And what do you guys think is a good, you think that once or twice a week is be something that every band should try and follow at least? I mean, in terms of minimum, do you think?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes we're really kind of at the minimum, of how often you should strive to do it. Unfortunately, like I said, we work 40 plus hours a week.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's tough, you know.
Working that life
right.
type thing in and around it, and it can be tough.
Right.
Shoot, I know. So, how far do you guys have to travel to get to your rehearsal space, in terms of individual members?
You were Alex's the furthest right.
Yeah, all about 15 minutes from here.
I'm a little bit closer. I'm about 5 or 10 minutes. So.
See, I've known bands that have had to travel 2 hours.
Wow.
Just to get there, to rehearse. So they're looking at a 3 or 4 hour commute to rehearsal space because there's been bands that have had to meet at a spot to rehearse and they're in a different state, so they have to travel that distance once or twice a week. So
that's tough.
Yeah. Mortuary Sessions.
Yes.
This is your upcoming album, second album. Is it? Am I?
Yes, sir.
Second full album.
It's actually an EP, 6 songs.
6-song EP. Okay, but it's your second studio.
Correct.
Thing. Cool. Last I had heard, you guys were projecting for a fall of 2017 release.
Yep, we're actually going to go into the studio. Alex is going to co-produce that thing, and it's going to be exciting. We've got some demos. We're demoing everything out right now. And then by the time we get into the studio and everything ready, that way it's just clean takes and everything.
Right. So we're still looking at maybe a fall. Any other specific? Just like a rough idea.
We're looking at October. For getting it out there after getting it mixed and mastered, but that shouldn't be too awful long. And hoping to have a single out, fairly shortly before then.
Yeah.
And pushing that, hopefully doing a video and kind of letting everything go at the same time, and then getting everybody ready for the.
If anybody's interested in checking this out, there is a teaser album, like an EP teaser video out on YouTube now, right?
Yes.
For this, so you guys can just check out. I guess if you search YouTube for Of Serpents Mortuary Sessions.
That's it, and that's actually a track called Willamette Configuration. So
yeah,
kind of crazy.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check that out, search YouTube for that, and keep your eyes. Do you have a plan for a release show or anything in support for that? Or?
We do. We're currently talking, like I said, with Sleepless Beast and everything about what we want to do. We've got a couple different ideas. I tell you, a band I would really like to have on there, and I hope these guys are maybe checking this out with Mortius. I'm a huge fan of those guys, man.
Yeah, man. Those
guys
are sick.
Man, Austin, those cats, Chris, and all those guys, man. I think they're really holding the old school death metal flag high, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so. They're young, they're fierce, man. They've got that passion, definitely.
Right.
Mortius, you guys are sure going to see this video when it gets posted up. Yeah. So, you guys,
you heard it.
keep that communication open there. What else do I have here? So you guys, I haven't actually seen you guys perform live, but I know that there's a lot of bands that have this signature look or signature sound, some kind of component that sets them out in the industry. What does Of Serpents have that you think sets them out, whether it's a sound or an image or any other kind of component that sets you guys out in the industry?
I'll let you handle that. Go ahead, bud.
Shit.
Well, this guy's wearing a Judas Priest shirt with a cowboy hat and snakeskin boots, so if that's any indication.
I mean, we're just like all killer, no filler.
Okay.
Some kick-ass fucking metal. Like, you're not going to come see some bullshit.
Right.
See some metal.
You're definitely going to get a show with it. We do, kind of the, I don't know if you call it corpse paint or whatever. Yep. We just, we do that.
Your picture on social media with the Sleepless Beast Records thing, like you guys are all painted up and you got this really cool kind of morbid kind of image going on. So
we definitely want people to kind of be a little bit creeped out.
Shocked.
Instead of coming, and I could go up there. We've done it, a couple times. We've had to go up, been missing makeup or something, or didn't have exactly what we wanted. So we went out and done shows. Actually, the Spillway earlier this year, we went up in jeans and t-shirts and played. So we're not afraid to do that because we feel like the music speaks for itself. But at the same time, we want to have a little bit more showmanship, a little bit more to offer as far as, just an experience as opposed to going and watching some dudes in jeans and t-shirts play a show.
Sure. And I think that with extreme music comes almost an obligation to provide some sort of extreme viewing experience, because you can listen to something and have take away something from the listening experience, but like when you go to see a live show, it's like, what kind of visual aspect does the band bring to kind of complement their extreme sound? So
it's funny too, because it seems like bands that were maybe doing this style, before we were, and I'm not saying we had anything to do with this, which is funny that, we kind of thought, well, maybe we'll do something different. And you're seeing bands like Carnifex that are really starting to take more of a stylistic approach to the music. And of course, like the Convalescents, they've been doing that, for a long time. Yeah. Big fans of those guys too. Mm-hmm. Keith is, a good friend of the band's and stuff. So,
us too. Yep, we've gotten to know their lineup has changed a lot recently, but now Charles Weber, you guys know Charles?
Yep.
He's from right here in Middle Tennessee, Murfreesboro area, and he plays drums for the Convalescents now. So we've known him for a while and have gotten to become good friends with like Keith and Katie and all those guys, and people, and good people there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're hustling, man. I think that's what it takes in today's industry for sure. It's just extreme hustle.
Absolutely, and I applaud them, and any band that has that sort of ambition, because it's such a saturated industry. There's so many bands out there. There's so much going on. You got to have something that makes you stand out. So,
absolutely.
I guess the last thing I was going to ask you guys is, in terms of you guys going out on tour, hitting the road, doing anything, who are some bands that you guys would like to be out there supporting or have supporting you, and for that matter?
Oh man, as far as us going out, obviously I'd love to go out with like the Convalescents. I feel like we have kind of common ground with them. Definitely Mortius. I mean, if those guys are down, Autumn Lies Buried, good friends of ours. Love those guys, and they seem like they're kind of itching to get out too. Mm-hmm. If we're talking, major, worldwide known bands, I definitely would like to have a couple dates on that new 18 Visions tour. That would really be a highlight for me. I think I could probably just die after that.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, even it doesn't matter. We're really open to play with whoever wants to have us. We can come up there and make a showing of it. So.
Well, I appreciate that mindset that you guys have, because you definitely have a diverse sort of rainbow array of bands that you're talking about here. Mortius is definitely different from Autumn Lies Buried, who are different from the Convalescents, for instance, and 18 Visions. I mean, it's just like anybody who wants to play, you'll play with, and it's, you're not even going to really pigeonhole yourself into just one type of music or one type of genre of metal. I think that's important, especially now, that you got to really expose yourself to any and all.
That's it. And hopefully anybody that comes out to a show would be able to take away, and I try to do this as a fan, is find something I appreciate about each and every live act I ever see. And I can say, going in there with that is always a lot cooler than going, man, I can't stand that. I just try to be, say, hey, they're up there, they're doing their thing, I'm appreciative of it, I'll support them. And there's so many bands, that, I may not even particularly just be a huge fan of what they're doing musically, but the fact that they're humble guys or they're good people makes me want to spend more time with them than somebody that's more,
got this rock star mentality.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I think that there's a fine line with that too.
Sure.
You gotta really you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta believe in your craft and believe in your product.
Right.
And without like coming across as like an asshole in the process,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a huge part of it. Speaking of shows and stuff, last thing I just wanted before we wrap this interview up, any other shows that you want to plug?
Yeah, we've actually got not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday, 25th at Autograph Rehearsal Studio. We're going to be there with Raven Black.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys are on that show. Favorite Cry and Trigger Digit.
Yep.
Right there in Murfreesboro, Autograph Rehearsal Studios.
That's it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Actually, our buddies in Peruvian Necktie, they play a lot over here with us. They're gonna be there.
Oh,
Kind
yeah?
of 2-piece. Some of the guys used to be in As the Sky Turns Red, so it's gonna looking forward to that and them getting out of the jam room, you know. And then let's see, September 8th, we'll be back at Autograph with Abyss Walker and Exalted. So, and I think that's Kenzie and Andrew Stahl. It's her little birthday thing. So,
Okay.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. We love them. They're always out there supporting us. So we figure, the least we could do is come out there and play and be a part of her birthday celebration. So I'm
That's very
really,
awesome of
really,
you guys.
really looking forward to that one. And then October 4th, we'll be at the Warehouse. So, and we'll be there with Autumn Lies Buried and I think 5 or 6 other bands, and I can't remember all of them right now.
Cool.
But so we're gonna do
Well,
that.
I'm sure everybody that wants to check you guys out for upcoming shows, you guys keep up to date on that
Yes.
on your Facebook page. Any other social media that you guys that can be found on? Do you have anything else
Twitter.
going on? You got the Twitter thing going on?
Instagram.
Of Serpents, I'm sure. At Of Serpents. Just search for them guys on there.
And
Where
you
can
can actually go to sleeplessbeastrecords.com as well, and you can actually buy our album off of there. And then we've got a Bandcamp page where you can pick up CDs and merch too.
Great.
So
CDs and merch are available through the Bandcamp site.
yes,
Terrific. So anybody out there willing and wanting to support Of Serpents can get their merch through their Bandcamp. So you can just go to I'm sure that actual link is on your Facebook page
Yes.
in the About section. Usually it's where you can find it, but just Google Of Serpents and go to their Bandcamp site, pick up a CD, pick up a t-shirt. Any other merch that you guys have going on besides the CD and t-shirts? Got your stickers. Yeah. Tag the places that you're at around. Just start plastering that shit everywhere.
yeah.
And keep up to date with Of Serpents with their upcoming EP, Mortuary Sessions, somewhere around October. October-ish.
This fall, coming this fall. Yeah.
So everybody, this has been a Murfreesboro Music Scene featuring Of Serpents. Been here with Blake. Thank you so much, Blake. And Travis.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
You guys stay tuned for our next week's featured band of the week, who is yet to be determined. But in the meantime, check out Of Serpents.